Picture this. The year is 750 CE. You stand at the edge of a vast jungle, the morning mist rising from the lowlands, and before you stretches a city alive with movement, colour and sound. This is a hub of the classic Maya civilization, a city that at its peak is home to between 30 and 50,000 people, packed within a dense urban core. Stone pyramids and palace complexes rise above the canopy, their sharp angles catching the first rays of sunlight, a testament to centuries of architectural skill and religious devotion. The city is governed by a concentrated political authority. Nobles and priests move through ceremonial plazas, issuing commands and overseeing rituals that structure the life of the city. Artisans and labourers carve stone, shape pottery, and maintain the elaborate water systems that sustain daily life, while farmers from surrounding fields bring food and trade goods into the urban heart. Markets hum with activity as merchants exchange cacao, jade, obsidian, and textiles, connecting this city to a web of trade across Mesoamerica. Yet beneath this vibrancy lies fragility. Resource management is a constant challenge, and social hierarchies create pressure points that could ripple through the population. Environmental conditions, from seasonal rainfall to the demands of maintaining terraces and reservoirs, shape the rhythm of every day. Using historical records and archaeological evidence, we've reconstructed what a single day in a Maya city may have looked like. From the first light filtering through temple steps to the hidden bustle of domestic life, every moment tells a story of a civilization both thriving and delicately balanced, poised at the intersection of power, culture, and survival. You step onto the causeway as the first light of dawn filters through the dense jungle canopy. Mist hangs low over the city, clinging to stone terraces and winding paths, softening the edges of the massive pyramids that rise above the treetops. The tops of temples catch the sunlight first, glowing faintly against the green expanse, a silent signal that a new day has begun. The city itself is waking. Birds call across the plazas, and the echo of howler monkeys drifts from the forest beyond. Somewhere in the distance, the steady beat of drums marks the rhythm of early ceremonial preparations. You notice farmers emerging from surrounding fields, carrying bundles of maize, beans and squash, making their way toward the central markets. Smoke curls from the hearths of residential compounds, mingling with the damp scent of earth and foliage. The aroma of cooking fires hints at simple morning meals being prepared by families still stirring awake. Water channels and reservoirs begin to stir with activity as city residents draw fresh water, rinse stone tools, and ready the fountains and terraces that sustain daily life. In the temple plazas, priests and attendants move with purpose, arranging offerings and ceremonial objects, preparing altars for rituals that will structure the rhythm of the day. The sound of footsteps, the rustle of cloth, and the occasional chant combine into a quiet, persistent hum that signals both devotion and organization. In these first moments of daylight, the city balances between the stillness of the night and the bustle that will come. The stone and earth of the urban core, the fields beyond, and the jungle surrounding all seem to breathe together, forming a living network of activity poised to expand as the sun rises higher. This is the awakening of a Maya city at its peak, every movement part of a larger, delicate order. You walk along the wide stone-paved causeways, each one carefully laid to link the city's temples, palaces, and residential compounds. The surfaces are worn smooth by the passage of countless feet, yet the paths still guide your eye toward the elevated plazas that rise above the surrounding urban fabric. From these plazas, pyramids tower over the city, their stepped faces catching the morning light, signalling centres of both political authority and religious devotion. Nearby, you notice clusters of elite compounds. Large stone walls enclose open courtyards, and finely crafted residences are arranged around ceremonial spaces. The proximity to temples and plazas reflects the social hierarchy. The closer one lives to the heart of the city, the greater their status and influence. Artisans and merchants occupy distinct districts, their workshops and stalls lining narrower causeways that branch off from the main thoroughfares. The smells of food preparation, resin, and freshly cut timber mingle with the faint hum of labour, a sensory reminder of the city's layered economy. Peripheral neighbourhoods are filled with commoner residences, thatched or timber-frame compounds interspersed with small gardens and storage areas. Here, the rhythm of daily life is quieter, but no less vital. sustaining the city's population through agriculture, craft production, and domestic activity. As you move through the urban core, your eyes are drawn to public art in monumental stele carved with glyphs and intricate imagery. These inscriptions mark lineage, commemorate rulers, and declare the city's power and authority. Architecture itself communicates social order. Pyramids and plazas dominate, workshops and markets occupy the middle layers, and commoner houses spread outward, forming a living hierarchy written in stone, earth, and human activity. Every path, every building, every carved monument is a testament to a society structured, organised, and deeply aware of rank and ritual. You step into the bustling heart of the city as the morning unfolds. Along the main plazas and causeways, the markets are coming alive. Stalls are stacked high with maize, its golden kernels reflecting the sunlight, cacao beans spilling in woven baskets, and brightly dyed textiles fluttering gently in the warm breeze. Traders from neighbouring settlements call out their wares, while the sharp glint of obsidian and polished jade catches your eye, signalling both wealth and ritual significance. Nearby, artisans work with quiet precision. Hands shaped by years of practice mould clay into ceremonial vessels, carve stone tools and fashion intricate ornaments. The rhythmic clink of chisels and the hiss of heated stone fill the air. Merging with the chatter of buyers and the footsteps of those passing through the plazas, each transaction is more than a simple exchange. It is a reflection of social order, a recognition of who holds influence and who sustains the city's economy. Trade routes thread through the jungle beyond the city walls, linking this urban centre with distant Maya cities. Goods, ideas, and obligations move along these paths, and with them comes the reinforcement of elite power. Tribute systems ensure that farmers and labourers provide surplus to the rulers, while priests oversee ceremonies that sanctify these contributions, intertwining spiritual authority with economic control. Labour is highly organised. Farmers tend fields of maize and beans surrounding the city. Construction crews maintain pyramids and palaces, and citizens fulfil obligations tied to both ritual and civic duty. Economic life is inseparable from the monumental architecture. The granaries, temples, and plazas all depend on the careful coordination of people, goods, and resources. In this mid-morning pulse, you see how a complex society maintains itself, balancing production, trade, and authority, in a system both fragile and essential to the city's survival. You walk toward the city's ceremonial heart as the sun reaches its zenith. Towering temple pyramids dominate the skyline, their stepped silhouettes rising above the urban grid. From the highest platforms, priests move with deliberate precision, performing rituals that mark the passage of time, honour the gods, and assert the power of the ruling elite. The scent of burning copal drifts through the plazas, mingling with the earthy aroma of freshly turned soil from nearby fields. Nobles and commoners gather in the open squares, their presence both a display of devotion and a reminder of the social hierarchy that binds the city. Music resonates across the stone terraces, hollow drums, flutes, and rattles punctuating chants and hymns. Dance accompanies the rhythm, bodies swaying in synchronization with both the celestial patterns and the commands of ritual leaders. Offerings of food, jade, and finely woven textiles are placed carefully at altars, each gift a tangible expression of faith and loyalty. The city itself is aligned to the cosmos. Observatories and sightlines on temple summits trace the movements of the sun, moon, and Venus, connecting human activity to the celestial order. Stele and inscriptions carved into stone record victories, lineage, and religious practices, ensuring that history, law, and belief are preserved for generations. These texts are more than records. They're instruments of authority, binding knowledge, ritual, and governance. Elite children study in quiet courtyards, learning astronomy, mathematics, and the complex rites that govern both sacred and civic life. Their lessons are interwoven with myth and history, preparing the next generation to sustain the city's religious and cultural rhythms. In this midday pulse, the spiritual and temporal converge, every stone, every gesture, every sound reinforcing the intricate bond between the divine, the elite, and the broader populace. The heart of ritual beats steadily at the centre of urban life, commanding attention, respect, and awe. You walk along the elevated causeways as the afternoon sun warms the stone beneath your feet. In the shaded plazas, nobles meet quietly, negotiating alliances through carefully arranged marriages and tribute exchanges. Each pact is both political and symbolic, designed to consolidate power and maintain influence over surrounding territories. The air carries a faint scent of incense, and a reminder that religious authority is never far from these discussions, its weight lending legitimacy to the ambitions of the elite. Beyond the walls, military patrols march methodically along the city's perimeter. Armed with spears and shields, they are vigilant against both external threats and the occasional internal disturbance. From distant hills, rival city-states loom in influence, if not in sight, their envoys present in trade and negotiation, a constant reminder that diplomacy can quickly shift into conflict. The exchange of goods, obsidian, jade and maize, is inseparable from these tensions, each transaction layered with political nuance. Within the city, subtle signs of internal friction emerge. Artisans and commoners carry out their work, yet the hierarchy imposed by elite rule is ever present. Control of water and other critical resources demands careful management, and even minor disputes can ripple outward, straining social cohesion. The rhythmic clang of construction and the hum of marketplace activity coexist with whispered conversations of power and status, forming a delicate urban tapestry. Every gesture, every decree, and every negotiation reinforces the precarious equilibrium that allows the city to thrive. Its influence is wide, yet its stability is never guaranteed. In the afternoon heat, the city's political life pulses quietly beneath the surface, a complex choreography of ambition, loyalty, and vigilance that sustains both authority and urban vitality. The balance is fragile, and the next move, by ally or rival, could shift the course of power in an instant. You step into the cooling light of late afternoon as the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the city's stone causeways. Smoke rises gently from residential hearths, curling into the warm air, signalling that families are preparing and sharing their evening meals. The aroma of roasted maize and stewed beans drifts across courtyards, mingling with the scent of damp earth and the fading warmth of the day. Children run and tumble along the plazas, their laughter echoing off the walls of elevated compounds, a playful contrast to the solemnity of earlier ceremonies. Artisans and craftspeople methodically finish their work, wiping tools and arranging materials for the next day. The clink of pottery and the soft scrape of carving instruments provide a quiet rhythm that fills the streets. Small gatherings emerge in residential areas. Music flows from simple flutes, drums mark the beat of local dances, and elders recount stories of ancestors, battles, and gods. Even in these intimate spaces, ritual and cultural memory are never far, as offerings of food or incense are placed at small altars within compounds. Neighbours exchange greetings and share news, reinforcing bonds that sustain the city's social fabric. Smoke from hearths flickers against temple steps in the fading light, painting the skyline with golden hues. The causeways, once crowded with the urgency of markets and patrols, are now alive with leisurely movement and communal energy. As dusk settles, the city demonstrates a careful balance between order and warmth, discipline and intimacy. The monumental architecture overlooks these daily rhythms, yet within the walls, human life continues with subtle vitality. Evening in the city is a moment of respite, a gentle pause where work, ritual and play converge, sustaining both the urban population and the shared sense of belonging that binds the city together. You step into the deepening darkness as night settles over the city. Residential compounds fade into shadows, their walls barely visible beneath the canopy of stars. Only the flickering glow of torches traces the main causeways and highlights the edges of temple plazas, guiding movement and signalling presence. The city is quieter now, yet far from still. Guards move methodically along strategic points and plazas, their footsteps echoing softly against the stone pavement. The low hum of vigilance is constant, a subtle reminder that the city's order depends on watchfulness even at this hour. From the surrounding jungle, the distant calls of nocturnal birds and the rustle of unseen creatures blend with the soft crackle of fires and the occasional voices from elite compounds. There, some nobles and priests remain awake, performing small ceremonies or attending to administrative duties. their torches casting long dancing shadows across carved stone walls. The city's power is visible even in the dark. Elevated pyramids loom over the plazas, torches outlining the contours of their ceremonial platforms. Pathways intersect with precision, a silent testament to the careful planning that sustains both daily life and governance. Yet beneath this apparent calm lies a tension, a delicate balance between security, authority, and human activity. As the night deepens, you sense that the city is never truly at rest. Its strength is measured in vigilance, its rhythms sustained by quiet movements of guards, priests, and citizens alike. Under the stars, the metropolis appears enduring and imposing, but the shadows remind you that power is always fragile, and the night always holds uncertainty. You step back from the bustling plazas and elevated temples to consider the fragile framework sustaining the city. Its wealth and influence rest on the careful management of maize fields and water channels, each canal and reservoir a lifeline for thousands. Agriculture is not merely survival, it is the foundation upon which political power and ritual authority are built, and any disruption could ripple through every corner of urban life. Above the residential compounds, pyramids rise as symbols of hierarchy, reminding all of the structured society that governs labour, tribute and ceremony. Nobles, priests and artisans occupy defined roles, their daily routines intertwined in a system that balances governance with faith. Knowledge is equally vital. Astronomical observations guide ceremonial timing, while scribes record lineage, conquest, and history, preserving cultural memory that reinforces authority and cohesion. Yet this order is inherently delicate. The city exists within a tropical lowland where drought, floods, and soil depletion threaten harvests. Rival city-states loom beyond the horizon, their ambitions a constant political pressure. Internal tensions between elites and commoners, and the management of trade and tribute demand constant attention. Every element, from commerce to ritual practice, is interdependent, a web where disruption in one strand could unravel the rest. As you move along the silent causeways, it becomes clear that the city's brilliance is inseparable from its vulnerability. Its power is impressive, its intellectual and cultural achievements profound, but the equilibrium sustaining urban life is always precarious. In this environment, knowledge, labour, and vigilance must coexist with nature's uncertainty to preserve a thriving civilization in the heart of the jungle. Centuries after this city thrived, its streets and plazas would fall silent. Political fragmentation among the surrounding city-states slowly eroded alliances, and intermittent warfare destabilized the region. Crops failed more frequently, reservoirs ran low, and the careful systems of agriculture and water management could no longer sustain the population. Gradually, families abandoned their compounds, and the urban heart that once pulsed with ceremony and commerce emptied, leaving monuments and temples to stand as silent witnesses to a bygone era. The stone pyramids, steely and intricately carved inscriptions endured, preserving a record of rulers, rituals, and astronomical knowledge. Even in decay, these remnants communicated the complexity of social organization, the sophistication of mathematics and astronomy, and the artistry that defined daily and ceremonial life. Later, Mesoamerican societies would draw on this heritage, inheriting both practical knowledge and symbolic traditions. Though the city itself faded from the jungle, its influence persisted. Scholars, travelers, and succeeding generations of Maya recognized the ingenuity required to build and sustain an urban center in such a challenging environment. It became a benchmark for architecture, urban planning, and cultural achievement, a testament to human adaptability and intellect. In the ruins, the city remains an enduring symbol, a civilization at its peak capable of great organization and creativity, yet always vulnerable to the forces of nature and human ambition. Its story reminds us that brilliance and fragility are inseparable, and that even the grandest cities are, in the end, shaped by the delicate balance between knowledge and survival. As the sun sets on the stone pyramids and sprawling plazas, the city stands as a testament to human ingenuity. Political power was concentrated in palaces and temples, yet everyday life pulsed through crowded causeways, bustling markets, and residential compounds. Architecture soared above the jungle canopy, reflecting both elite authority and the intricate social hierarchy that held the city together. Here, knowledge guided survival. Astronomy, mathematics, and writing shaped ceremonies, governance, and long-term planning. Trade, agriculture, and ritual intertwined to sustain a city that was both sophisticated and fragile. A centre of culture that left an enduring mark on Mesoamerican civilization. So that was 24 hours in an ancient Maya city. Through these reconstructions, we continue our mission to explore the greatest cities in history, uncovering how people lived, worked, and imagined their world. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more historical reconstructions, and tell us in the comments which ancient city you'd like to see brought to life next. And as always, we'll see you in the past.